you're thinking about homeschooling, I want you to really take the time and listen to this article. I know it's lengthy, I know there's a lot of statistics, but I think it's eye-opening to see some of the myths of homeschooling debunked. For example, college acceptance rates, the amount of students that go on and become successful in life post-homeschooling. So I want you to listen to this. Now, for me personally, I am just as a proponent for the trade schools, owning a business, me being an entrepreneur myself, than college being the end-all be-all. But I do feel like there is some important points in this article. And if my children decide to own their own business, go to trade school, or go to college, I'd be equally as proud. Let me just lay that out. So I'm not personally, for me, saying college is the only realm of success. Absolutely not. Me and my husband both went to college, but yet we own businesses that aren't in our college realm. So I value both, but I think these are some great points.
Fact check by Dr. Elke Jacobs-Pinson. Table of contents. Homeschooling population. Approximately 3.7 million students in the U.S. are homeschooled in 2024, representing about 6.73% of all school-age children. Public school enrollment. Around 49.4 million students are enrolled in public schools across the United States. Academic performance. Homeschooled students typically score 15 to 25 percentile points higher than public school students on standardized tests. SAT scores. On average, homeschooled students score 1,190 on the SAT, compared to 1,060 for public school students. College graduation rates. About 67% of homeschooled students graduate from college, compared to 59% of public school graduates. High school graduation rates. Public school students have a high school graduation rate of 91%, while the rate for homeschooled students is approximately 66.7%. Standardized test performance. Over 78% of peer-reviewed studies indicate that homeschooled students perform statistically significantly better than their public school counterparts. Higher education pursuit. Approximately 74% of homeschooled students go on to attend college, compared to only 44% of public school students. Average daily learning time. Homeschooled students typically spend about 3 to 5 hours per day on formal education, while public school students spend around 6 to 8 hours in school. Cost of education. The average cost of homeschooling ranges from $700 to $1,800 per child annually, whereas public school costs approximately $12,612 per student per year. Student-teacher ratio. Public schools have an average student-teacher ratio of about 16:1%, while homeschool settings often have a ratio closer to 1:1 or 2:1. Parental education levels. About 64% of homeschool parents hold a bachelor's degree or higher, compared to 58% of public school teachers who possess a master's degree or higher. Special needs representation. Approximately 24% of homeschool families have at least one child with special needs, while about 14% of public school students receive special education services. Socialization opportunities. Research indicates that homeschooled students often have higher levels of socialization and positive peer interactions compared to their public school peers. Extracurricular participation. Public schools offer a wide range of extracurricular activities, with about 80% of students participating in sports, clubs, and music programs. Parental involvement impact. Students whose parents are actively involved in their education tend to score significantly higher on standardized tests like the ACT, compared to those with less parental involvement. Math performance gap. Studies suggest that homeschooled students may perform lower in math compared to their public school counterparts, particularly in unstructured learning environments. College admission expectations. About 78% of college admission officers expect homeschool graduates to perform as well or better than traditional high school graduates during their first year in college. Peer-reviewed study outcomes. Research shows that homeschoolers generally perform well above the national average on standardized tests, often scoring between the 65th and 80th percentiles. Growth rate. In homeschooling, the homeschooling population has been growing at an estimated annual rate between 2% and 8%. with significant increases noted during the COVID-19 pandemic, when the rate doubled from March 2020 to March 2021. Demographic characteristics: the average homeschool family has about 3.5 children, while the average American family has approximately 1.93 children. Income levels: about 32% of homeschool families report an annual income under $50,000, while a significant portion, 52% of public school students, are eligible for free or reduced-price lunch programs due to low family income levels. Psychological development: research indicates that homeschooled students typically exhibit better psychological well-being and self-esteem compared to their peers in conventional schools. Educational flexibility: homeschooling allows for tailored educational experiences that can adapt to individual learning styles and interests, contrasting with the standardized curricula required in public schools. Public school versus homeschool debate. The debate between public schooling and homeschooling has been a topic of considerable interest in recent years, especially as educational paradigms continue to evolve. This article aims to provide a comprehensive statistical overview of both educational approaches, examining various aspects such as enrollment numbers, academic performance, costs, and social factors. By analyzing these statistics, we can gain valuable insights into the current state of both public schooling and homeschooling in the United States. Chapter 1: Enrollment and Population Statistics. 1.1 Public school enrollment. As of 2024, public schools in the United States continue to be the primary educational choice for the majority of families. According to the latest data, approximately 49.4 million students are enrolled in public schools across the nation. This figure represents a significant portion of the school-age population and underscores the continued importance of public education in the American educational landscape. 1.2% homeschooling population. While public schools remain dominant, homeschooling has seen substantial growth in recent years. In 2024, an estimated 3.7 million students in the U.S. are being homeschooled, accounting for about 6.73% of all school-aged children. This represents a notable increase from previous years and reflects a growing trend towards alternative educational approaches. 1.3% growth rate in homeschooling. The homeschooling population has been experiencing steady growth over the past decade. Estimates suggest an annual growth rate between 2% and 8%. However, it's important to note that this growth rate saw a significant spike during the COVID-19 pandemic. From March 2020 to March 2021, the rate of homeschooling doubled, highlighting the impact of external factors on educational choices. U.S. K-12 student enrollment by educational option, 2024. Educational option: number of students, percentage of total, annual growth rate. Public schools, 49,400,000, 87.5%, 0.5%. Private schools, 5,720,000, 10.1%, 0.3%. Homeschooling, 3,700,000, 6.6%, 8%. Charter schools, 3,600,000, 6.4%, 7.5%. Online schools, 375,000, 0.7%, 5.2%. Chapter 2: Academic Performance Statistics. 2.1 Standardized test scores. One of the most frequently cited metrics for comparing educational outcomes is performance on standardized tests. In this area, homeschooled students have shown impressive results. Homeschooled students typically score 15 to 25 percentile points higher than public school students on standardized tests. Over 78% of peer-reviewed studies indicate that homeschooled students perform statistically significantly better than their public school counterparts. Research shows that homeschoolers generally perform well above the national average on standardized tests, often scoring between the 65th and 80th percentiles. These statistics suggest a significant academic advantage for homeschooled students when it comes to standardized testing. However, it's important to consider potential factors contributing to these results, such as parental involvement, individualized instruction, and self-selection bias in homeschooling families. 2.2 SAT scores. When it comes to college entrance exams like the SAT, The data continues to favor homeschooled students. On average, homeschooled students score 1,190 on the SAT, compared to 1,060 for public school students. This 130-point difference is substantial and could potentially impact college admissions and scholarship opportunities. However, it's crucial to note that this is an average, and individual results can vary widely in both educational settings. 2.3% high school graduation rates. Interestingly, when it comes to high school graduation rates, public schools show a higher percentage. Public school students have a high school graduation rate of 91%. The high school graduation rate for homeschooled students is approximately 66.7%. This statistic might seem counterintuitive given the higher test scores of homeschooled students. However, it's important to consider that homeschooling families may have different criteria for graduation and may not always follow traditional grade-level progressions. 2.4% college attendance and graduation. When looking at higher education pursuits and outcomes, homeschooled students again show an advantage. Approximately 74% of homeschooled students go on to attend college, compared to only 44% of public school students. About 67% of homeschooled students graduate from college, compared to 59% of public school graduates. These statistics suggest that homeschooled students are more likely to pursue higher education and slightly more likely to complete their college degrees. Chapter 3: Educational Structure and Resources. 3.1 Average Daily Learning Time. The structure of the school day differs significantly between public schools and homeschooling. Homeschooled students typically spend about 3 to 5 hours per day on formal education. Public school students spend around 6 to 8 hours in school each day. This difference in structured learning time is notable. Homeschooling often allows for more flexible schedules and can incorporate more informal learning opportunities throughout the day. Public schools, on the other hand, provide a more structured environment with set schedules for various subjects and activities. 3.2 Student-teacher ratio. One of the most significant differences between public schools and homeschooling is the student-teacher ratio. Public schools have an average student-teacher ratio of about 16:1. Homeschool settings often have a ratio closer to 1:1 or 2:1. This stark difference in individual attention can have profound implications for personalized learning, immediate feedback, and addressing individual student needs. 3.3 Cost of education. The financial aspect of education is an important consideration for many families. The average cost of homeschooling ranges from $700 to $3,000 per child annually. Public school costs approximately $12,612 per student per year. While homeschooling appears significantly less expensive at first glance, it's important to note that public school costs include infrastructure, staff salaries, and various resources that homeschooling families might need to provide separately. Annual cost breakdown: homeschool versus public school. Expense category: homeschooling average, public schooling average. Curriculum: $600. $0 provided by school. Books and supplies: $300. $200. Field trips and activities: $400. $250. Technology and equipment: $500. $0 provided by school. Tutoring or online classes: $1,000. $0 optional, extra. Sports and extracurriculars: $600. $400. Transportation: $200. $500. School lunches: $0 made at home, $600. Standardized testing fees: $100. $0 covered by school. Facility costs: $0 use of home. $1,800 per student share. Teacher salaries: $0 parent taught. $7,200 per student share. Administrative costs: $0. $1,662 per student share. Total average annual cost: $3,700. $12,612. 3.4 Parental education levels. The educational background of those providing instruction is another important factor. About 64% of homeschool parents hold a bachelor's degree or higher. 58% of public school teachers possess a master's degree or higher. This statistic shows that both homeschooling parents and public school teachers tend to be well educated, with a slightly higher percentage of public school teachers holding advanced degrees. Chapter 4, Special Needs and Individualized Education. 4.1 Special Needs Representation. Both homeschooling and public schools cater to students with special needs, but the proportions differ. Approximately 24% of homeschool families have at least one child with special needs. About 14% of public school students receive special education services. The higher percentage in homeschooling families could be attributed to parents choosing this option to provide more individualized attention to their children with special needs. 4.2% Educational flexibility. One of the key advantages often cited for homeschooling is its flexibility. Homeschooling allows for tailored educational experiences that can adapt to individual learning styles and interests. Public schools generally follow standardized curricula, required by state and federal guidelines. This flexibility in homeschooling can be particularly beneficial for students who may not thrive in a traditional classroom setting or those who have specific learning needs or interests. 4.3 Math performance gap. Despite the overall higher performance of homeschooled students on standardized tests, there's an interesting exception in mathematics. Studies suggest that homeschooled students may perform lower in math compared to their public school counterparts, particularly in unstructured learning environments. This finding highlights the importance of structured math instruction and may indicate an area where homeschooling families might need to pay extra attention or seek additional resources. Chapter 5, Social and Extracurricular Aspects. 5.1 Socialization Opportunities. Contrary to common misconceptions, research indicates that homeschooled students often have high levels of socialization. Homeschooled students often have higher levels of socialization and positive peer interactions compared to their public school peers. This finding challenges the notion that homeschooled children lack social opportunities. Many homeschooling families actively seek out social interactions through community groups, sports teams, and other activities. 5.2 Extracurricular participation. Public schools are known for offering a wide range of extracurricular activities. About 80% of public school students participate in sports, clubs, and music programs. While homeschooled students may not have access to the same school-based activities, many participate in community sports leagues, music lessons, and other organized activities outside of their academic studies. 5.3 Psychological development. Research on the psychological well-being of students shows interesting results. Homeschooled students typically exhibit better psychological well-being and self-esteem compared to their peers in conventional schools. This could be attributed to factors such as stronger family bonds, less peer pressure, and more individualized attention in homeschooling environments. College readiness and performance. Homeschool versus public school graduates. Metric. Homeschool graduates. Public school graduates. Average SAT score: 1,190, 1,060. Average ACT score. College acceptance rate. First-year college GPA. College retention rate 1 stone to second year, 88%, 80%. 4-year college graduation rate, 66.7%, 57.5%. 6-year college graduation rate, 74.2%, 65.8%. Graduate school attendance rate, 50.2%, 37.6%. STEM major selection rate, 32.5%, 28.9%. Liberal arts major selection rate. Average student loan debt at graduation. Chapter: Parental Involvement and Family Dynamics. Parental involvement impact. The level of parental involvement in a child's education can significantly impact academic performance. Students whose parents are actively involved in their education tend to score significantly higher on standardized tests like the ACT, compared to those with less parental involvement. This statistic is particularly relevant to homeschooling, where parental involvement is inherently high. However, it also underscores the importance of parental engagement in public school settings. 6.2 Family size. Interestingly, there's a notable difference in family size between homeschooling families and the general population. The average homeschool family has about 3.5 children. The average American family has approximately 1.93 children. This difference in family size could influence the decision to homeschool, as larger families might find homeschooling more economically viable or logistically manageable. 6.3 Income levels. The economic background of families choosing homeschooling versus public schooling shows some differences. About 32% of homeschool families report an annual income under $50,000. A significant portion, 52% of public school students, are eligible for free or reduced price lunch programs due to low family income levels. These statistics suggest that while homeschooling is often perceived as an option for more affluent families, it is practiced across various income levels. Public schools, meanwhile, serve a large proportion of students from lower-income families. Chapter 7: College Readiness and Future Prospects. 7.1 College Admission Expectations. College admissions officers generally have positive expectations for homeschooled students. About 78% of college admission officers expect homeschool graduates to perform as well or better than traditional high school graduates during their first year in college. This statistic suggests that homeschooling is not a disadvantage in the college admissions process, and may even be viewed favorably by some institutions. 7.2 College Performance. The performance of homeschooled students in college is also noteworthy. About 67% of homeschooled students graduate from college, compared to 59% of public school graduates. This higher graduation rate could be attributed to factors such as self-motivation, study skills, and academic preparation developed during homeschooling. 7.3 Career Readiness. While specific statistics on career readiness are limited, the higher college graduation rates and strong academic performance of homeschooled students suggest that they are well prepared for future career challenges. However, public schools often offer specific career and technical education programs that may provide direct pathways to certain professions. Chapter 8: Trends and Future Outlook. 8.1% growth in homeschooling. The homeschooling movement has been experiencing steady growth. The homeschooling population has been growing at an estimated annual rate between 2% and 8%. A significant increase was noted during the COVID-19 pandemic, when the rate doubled from March 2020 to March 2021. This growth trend suggests that homeschooling is likely to continue as a significant educational option in the coming years. 8.2 Public School Adaptations. In response to the growing popularity of alternative educational approaches, many public school systems are adapting. Increased offerings of online and hybrid learning options, more flexible schedules, and personalized learning plans in some districts. Greater emphasis on project-based and experiential learning. These adaptations aim to incorporate some of the benefits associated with homeschooling into the public school system. 8.3 Technology and Education. Both homeschooling and public schooling are being significantly impacted by technological advancements. Increased availability of online educational resources for homeschoolers. Greater integration of technology in public school classrooms. Growth of virtual public schools as a bridge between traditional public schooling and homeschooling. Homeschooling methods and adoption rates. Homeschooling method. Description: adoption rate. Traditional. Structured approach similar to classroom setting, 26%. Classical. Emphasizes logic, rhetoric, and classical literature, 10%. Charlotte Mason. Focus on living books, nature study, and character development, 12%. Montessori. Child-led learning with prepared environments, 5%. Unschooling. Child-directed learning based on interests, 13%. Waldorf. Holistic approach integrating arts and academics, 3%. Unit studies. Integrated learning around specific themes or topics, 8%. Eclectic. Combination of multiple methods, 20%. Online virtual school. Structured curriculum delivered via online platforms, 15%. Co-op-based. Collaborative learning with other homeschooling families, 7%. World schooling. Travel-based education incorporating global experiences, 1%. Conclusion. The comparison between public schooling and homeschooling reveals a complex landscape of education in the United States. While public schools continue to educate the vast majority of students, homeschooling has grown significantly and shown impressive results in many areas. Key findings include academic performance. Homeschooled students generally outperform their public school peers on standardized tests and have higher college attendance rates. Individualized learning. Homeschooling offers greater flexibility and personalization, which can be particularly beneficial for students with special needs or unique learning styles. Socialization. Contrary to common perceptions, homeschooled students often have high levels of socialization and psychological well-being. Cost and resources. While homeschooling can be less expensive, public schools offer a wider range of resources and extracurricular activities. Parental involvement. High levels of parental involvement, common in homeschooling, correlate with better academic outcomes. Future readiness. Both systems show strengths in preparing students for college and careers, with homeschooled students showing slightly higher college graduation rates. As education continues to evolve, both public schools and homeschooling are likely to adapt and incorporate new methodologies and technologies. The choice between public schooling and homeschooling remains a personal one, dependent on individual family circumstances, values, and educational goals. This comprehensive analysis of statistics provides valuable insights into the current state of both educational approaches. However, it's important to remember that individual experiences can vary widely, and success in education is influenced by numerous factors beyond the choice of schooling method. More articles.